When it comes towards being an effective sales rep, one of the things you need to do is stay ahead of the curve, really staying ahead of the competition and the challenges and the difficulties that are coming up ahead. In this episode, I'm going to share with you some strategies that modern sellers need to take advantage of in 2022 and how this can help you advance your efforts and build better pipeline. You're going to love this stuff. Hey everyone, welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, we're going to talk about modern selling strategies, specifically things and ideas that you could take advantage of so you can perform to the best of your ability. If this is your first time watching one of our videos, please subscribe to this channel. Modern selling, what exactly is this? So when you think about modern selling, in the definition, in the sense of the word, every essence of the word, it's always changing. So when you're listening to this episode a year from now, modern selling strategies may have evolved since then. Or, if you're listening to this 3 years from now, we're doing this right now, recording in 2022. It has changed, and you want to make sure you stay ahead of it, and because that's the idea. It's modern, right? But right now, things that are working in 2022, strategies that we're seeing, and things that can help you out. I want to share that with you. But here is what we define as modern selling. Some of the things: ability to use new tools, use modern techniques, digital or social selling strategies to find and engage and connect with your prospects. Now, it's important that you understand it's not necessarily fully connecting and pitching them, but it's connecting with your prospect. And obviously, we want to make sure that as we connect, it leads to an opportunity for us to make a sale, because that's our role as sales professional. So go back to this idea. Again, it is taking advantage of new tools, of modern selling techniques, of digital and social selling strategies to help you find, engage with, and connect / eventually convert more of those prospects you're dealing with. So when you look at it though, go back to I feel the best place we can start, look at the state of sales. Couple things. LinkedIn has their report coming out, and you're going to see some things about that later this year, which kind of goes over the state of sales. If you look at some of the things they spoke about last year compared to this year as well, you see some interesting things. But right now in 2022, some of the top things that I can tell you, I got a chance to interact with some folks in different industries, and one of the things that they're sharing is the first one is, because of the pandemic, we're seeing a lot more people taking advantage of social selling, and more of our prospects are hoping to do that. They're wanting to work from home naturally, and as they're working from home, they're not around their teams as usual, so they're doing a lot more remote buying situation where they're meeting on Zoom and so forth. If this is the case, are you doing a good job at being able to make sure you take advantage of remote selling strategies so you can be at the most effective in your conversation with your prospects? There's several ideas that I want you to walk away with from this discussion today, and one of those things is that you need to master virtual selling. Now, one of the things that modern sellers are taking advantage of is, tools like you're using stuff like Zoom, and you're using things like Team. But to advance that even more so, they're mastering how to be able to work with people even when you can't necessarily see them on the screen. And they're taking advantage of ways that they can better engage with their prospects. Because again, the prospects are using these tools more so, and they're staying at home more so. However, if we're not up to speed on that, if modern sellers aren't up to speed on how to take advantage of that, they're going to find themselves in a lot of issues and a lot of challenges. Modern sellers also are groomed. This sounds silly, but I can tell you could jump on some of these Zoom meetings and you see folks with their teeth all full of food, and they look like they just got out of bed because they're working from home, may not have showered in 2 days. Their clothes is super wrinkled and doesn't look presentable. The lighting is awful on their camera. They're not engaging with the camera. All of those things tie back to you being an effective modern seller because of the simple fact that more and more of your prospects are doing remote buying and remote working. Getting a mic so you can actually sound clear. I mean, imagine a basketball player without good tennis shoes. How in the world are you going to be in a situation as a seller if you don't have a good mic? I'm not saying you get one like mine, but you can get a Yeti, or even just a ATR 2100. We have this in our show notes. A USB mic you can plug into your computer. But now your prospects can better hear you. And also invest in a camera. I mean, if this is the environment you're going to be in, you need to make sure you take advantage of it. So those are some things right out of the gate. One of the other things is the engagement with your prospects. Gone, let's give you a traditional seller. Gone are the days where you can just pick up the phone and just like, send out a blanketed phone call, like, trying to get a hold of a prospect to follow up with them. Or, I'm not saying you don't use the phone, we use the phone. Or just sending out a plain old email, hey, just following up. You can do those as well. But the modern sellers are taking advantage of platforms like LinkedIn, where we're seeing a higher engagement, where people are taking advantage of those platforms even more so. So let's take a peek of Sales Navigator, for instance. Sales Navigator give you different individuals within the organization you should be connecting with besides your prospect. So if I see that I'm reaching out to Mary, and I see that she works with David and Bobby and Jermaine, she works with those individuals, maybe I can connect with those individuals as well, and I can engage and become a first degree contact with them, and I can engage with Mary's post. I saw that she just shared a post and she didn't have tons of comments, but I can comment on that, give a thoughtful comment and engage with the content that she has, and also talk to, maybe tag some of her teammates in it and share ideas like, Jermaine, Mary just shared this post. I thought you might like this as well. They're in the same company, but I feel like I'm a part of that community already. But modern sellers are finding unique ways to be able to engage with their prospects. They're not just getting on a platform like LinkedIn and they're spamming. They're looking for ways to provide education and provide value. Digital scalability. Through new skills and digital tools, helping sellers become more digital first sellers and transform sales enablement practices. So what I mean by this is kind of like we talked about with LinkedIn. Traditional sellers, their focus is just a phone and just an email, which again, I love myself. However, in addition to that, we're taking advantage of digital tools and digital capabilities first. So we're making sure we have a presence on LinkedIn. Modern sellers are taking advantage of LinkedIn in a way more, in much better ways than we've ever seen in history, because they're sharing thoughtful posts. They're also not only engaging with their prospects things, but they're also taking advantage of the tools that LinkedIn has, such as like doing LinkedIn lives, or they're creating a newsletter, and they're sharing things that their buyers might find interesting and it's entertaining. They're content first sellers. Let me repeat this again. Content first sellers, they're creating content out there that their buyers can then engage with. They're seen as a thought leader, and because more and more of their buyers are on these platforms and are utilizing these tools, they're seeing their names. I mean, if I see a BDR that's doing all that stuff and they're in my industry with a product that I'm trying to get, like, who do you think I'm going to go to or I'm going to interact to? That one sounds more like a thought leader than this other person who's an order taker. And as always, I want you to find more of those ideal customers. I want you to know what to say when you reach out to them. I want you to close more deals. But most importantly, I want you to raise your level of thinking, become that modern seller, and go out and do big things. See you soon.